Judge blocks Trump visa restrictions. What happens next? Hook 0 to 10 seconds. A federal judge has just struck down the Trump administration's visa restrictions. For the first time, a court has ruled that these sweeping immigration policies are unlawful and unconstitutional. Here's what you need to know about this historic ruling. Chapter 1: The Landmark Ruling. A federal judge in Rhode Island issued a landmark ruling blocking the Trump administration's policies that halted legal immigration processing for citizens of multiple countries. Judge McConnell ruled that the administration exceeded its legal authority and violated federal immigration statutes by freezing applications based solely on the national origin of applicants. The ruling invalidated a policy that had paused all legal immigration applications filed by citizens of countries on the president's restricted list. This is the most significant court challenge to the administration's immigration policies since the executive orders were first announced earlier this year. Legal experts are calling it a watershed moment in the ongoing debate over executive power and immigration law in the United States. Chapter 2: Understanding the Policy at Stake. The Trump administration had implemented a sweeping pause on immigrant visa processing for people from dozens of countries around the world. The policy affected a wide range of visa categories, including H-1B visas for skilled technology workers, F-1 visas for international students, and J-1 visas for exchange visitors. It also imposed a blanket halt on asylum decisions at United States Citizenship and Immigration Services offices across the country. The administration argued that these restrictions were necessary for national security reasons and to protect American jobs in a tight and competitive labor market. However, the judge found that the policy was implemented without proper legal justification and violated established immigration statutes that have been in place for decades. The ruling was based on a careful review of the administrative record and the applicable federal laws. Chapter 3: Who is affected by the ruling? The ruling impacts hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Skilled workers from India, China, and the Philippines who were waiting for H-1B visas to work in the United States can now have their applications processed through the regular legal channels. International students from affected countries who were planning to study at American universities can finally move forward with their educational plans and futures. Families who were separated by the immigration pause may now be reunited after months or even years of painful uncertainty and separation. The American Immigration Council estimates that over 2 million people were directly affected by the policy changes. Many had already quit their jobs, sold their homes, or turned down educational opportunities in the United States based solely on the uncertainty created by the administration's sweeping actions. Chapter 4: The Legal Battle Ahead. The legal strategies on both sides are being closely watched by immigration law experts across the country. The Trump administration has assembled a team of high-profile attorneys who are expected to argue that the president has broad authority over immigration policy under the Immigration and Nationality Act. They will likely emphasize the national security rationale for the restrictions and argue that the executive branch has historically had wide discretion in setting immigration priorities. On the other side, the plaintiffs have filed extensive briefs citing precedent from the Supreme Court and federal appellate courts that limit executive power over immigration. Legal scholars say this case could be one of the most significant immigration cases in a generation, with implications that extend far beyond the specific visa policies at issue. This ruling is unlikely to be the final word on the matter. The Trump administration has indicated that it will appeal the decision to a higher federal court. The case will likely move through the federal appellate system, and the legal battle could drag on for many months before a final resolution is reached. In the meantime, the administration may attempt to implement new policies that achieve similar goals through different legal mechanisms and justifications. Immigration lawyers are advising affected individuals to continue preparing their applications, as the current legal environment is significantly more favorable than it was just weeks ago. The American Civil Liberties Union and other civil rights organizations have celebrated the ruling as a major victory for the rule of law and the fundamental principles of due process. Chapter 5: Broader Implications for Immigration Law. The economic implications of the ruling are also significant. The technology sector, in particular, relies heavily on H-1B visa holders. Companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and countless startups depend on skilled foreign workers to fill critical engineering and technical roles. The uncertainty created by the immigration pause had already caused some companies to slow down hiring and delay project timelines. With the ruling now allowing applications to proceed, the tech industry is expected to see a surge in visa processing and a renewed confidence in hiring international talent. The National Association of Manufacturers and other business groups have also praised the ruling, noting that immigration is essential to keeping American industries competitive in the global economy. The ruling has broader implications that go far beyond the specific visa policies at issue in this case. It reaffirms the fundamental principle that even the President of the United States must operate within the bounds of the law and the Constitution. Immigration policy is not something that the executive branch can change by executive order alone without congressional authorization. Congress has the constitutional power to set immigration laws, and the courts have the authority to strike down policies that exceed executive authority. This ruling could set an important and lasting precedent that limits the scope of executive power on immigration for future administrations of both political parties. It also sends a strong and clear message to the rest of the world that the United States remains committed to the rule of law, due process, and the fair treatment of all people who seek to enter the country. Chapter 6: The Political Fallout. The political implications of this ruling are equally far-reaching. Immigration has been one of the most polarizing issues in American politics for decades, and this decision will intensify the debate even further. Supporters of the ruling argue that it protects the rights of immigrants and upholds the constitutional principles that the country was founded upon. They see this as a victory for the rule of law and for the fundamental fairness of the American legal system. Critics argue that the administration was within its rights to restrict immigration in the interest of national security and economic protectionism. They see the ruling as an example of judicial overreach and an infringement on executive authority. The ruling will likely become a major issue in upcoming elections and could influence the political landscape for years to come. Both political parties are already positioning themselves to take advantage of the ruling for their respective campaigns and fundraising efforts. Immigration advocacy groups are celebrating the decision and planning new campaigns to protect and expand immigrant rights. At the same time, immigration restriction groups are organizing to push back against the ruling and to support the administration's appeal. The ruling is already having significant political consequences across the country. Immigration has been one of the most contentious and divisive issues in American politics for decades, and this decision will intensify the debate even further. Supporters of the ruling argue that it protects the rights of immigrants and upholds the constitutional principles that the country was founded upon. Critics argue that the administration was within its rights to restrict immigration in the interest of national security and economic protectionism. The ruling will likely become a major issue in upcoming elections and could influence the political landscape for years to come. Both political parties are already positioning themselves to take advantage of the ruling for their respective campaigns and fundraising efforts. Chapter 7: What comes next? As the legal battle continues to unfold, the immediate practical impact is clear and significant. Immigration applications that were frozen will now resume processing. Thousands of people who were stuck in limbo for months or even years can finally move forward with their lives. The ruling also serves as a powerful reminder that the system of checks and balances enshrined in the Constitution still works as intended. No branch of government is above the law, and the courts will continue to serve as an essential check on executive overreach. For now, the focus turns to the appellate process, but the momentum is clearly on the side of those who believe in the rule of law and the rights of immigrants. The American immigration system is complex and often frustrating, but it is built on fundamental principles of fairness and due process that have defined the country for generations. This ruling reaffirms those principles at a time when they are under unprecedented pressure. As one immigration attorney put it, this is not just about visas. It is about whether the United States remains a country where the law applies equally to everyone, including the President of the United States. As the legal battle unfolds, the immediate impact is clear. Immigration applications that were frozen will now resume processing. Thousands of people who were stuck in limbo can finally move forward with their lives. The ruling also serves as a reminder that the system of checks and balances enshrined in the Constitution still works. No branch of government is above the law, and the courts will continue to serve as a check on executive overreach. For now, the focus turns to the appellate process, but the momentum is clearly on the side of those who believe in the rule of law and the rights of immigrants. Conclusion. The judge's ruling blocking the Trump visa restrictions is a major development in the ongoing immigration debate and a significant and important check on executive power. It demonstrates that the judicial branch can serve as an effective safeguard against overreach by the executive branch. For the hundreds of thousands of people affected by these policies, it offers hope that their dreams of living and working in the United States may still be achievable despite the political turmoil and uncertainty. Subscribe for more updates on this developing story and other major news events shaping our world. Share this video with anyone who might be affected by immigration policies. And as always, leave your thoughts and questions in the comments section below. End.